Elections have consequences, and at the end of the day, I won. So think on that one. I trump you. That was a cocky President Obama to House Republicans in February of 2009. To understand the profound significance and generational impact of this November's midterm elections, a little recent history lesson is in order. In November 2008, the Democratic Party won an astounding presidential election with a blitzkrieg victory, winning both houses of Congress. They were solidly in charge of two branches of government, and with the help of executive constitutional power, they were going to make sure they were going to be in charge of the third, the judiciary. By the end of Obama's 8 years in office, he had appointed some of the most liberal, ideological, and radical judges to ever sit on the federal bench, representing almost 40% of the entire federal judiciary. Democrats controlled everything, and they fed the left-wing deep state monster like never before, expanding the federal government in 1,000 different ways. Now, to pack the federal circuit courts with hardcore left-wing judges, Senate Democrats used the nuclear option, ignoring Senate tradition of a 60-vote supermajority and confirming judges by a simple majority of senators. Democrats reasoned that they had won the election, and they're not going to let a Republican minority get in their way. Now, in the long term, the rule change represents a substantial power shift in a chamber that for more than 2 centuries had prided itself in affording more rights to the minority party than any other legislative body in the world. Now, a president whose party holds the majority in the Senate is virtually assured of having his nominees approved, with far less opportunity for political obstruction. Now, in 2013, Senate Republican Minority Whip Mitch McConnell, he warned Democrats that breaking this protection of the minority party would one day come to haunt them.
If you want to play games, set yet another precedent that you'll no doubt come to regret. Say to my friends on the other side of the aisle, you'll regret this, and you may regret it a lot sooner than you think.
On November 8th, 2016, it did come back to haunt them when Donald Trump wiped those arrogant smiles off Democratic faces, stifling their power with a resounding electoral college victory. In 2017 and 2018, it was goose gander time, with the minority Democrats knew that they had created the Republican majority monster. Now, don't get me wrong. They did not do this unconstitutionally. They simply ended a few Senate traditions that protected to a certain degree the minority party, and now they were on the receiving end, seeing their power diminish daily. And there is next to nothing they can do to stop it legally and constitutionally. Thus, the Democrat desperate and diabolical actions to destroy Judge Kavanaugh. They could not beat him through the merits of judicial argumentation, parliamentary procedure, and a senatorial vote, so they stooped to mob activity by falsely accusing him of rape and sexual harassment. Thank God it did not work. But it did show us the absolute deplorable level Democrats will go to keep their judicial left-wing power established by FDR and reinvigorated by President Obama. Now, Democrats know that if the Republicans can keep control of Congress, especially the Senate, President Trump will continue to appoint more conservative constitutionalists to the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeals, and the district courts. It is not hyperbole or an exaggeration to say that the upcoming midterm election this November will have ramifications that will last a lifetime. Democrat professor of political science at Roosevelt University in Chicago, David Ferris, says erroneously in his latest book, "It's Time to Fight Dirty," that the Republicans have rigged our democracy and that Democrats must fight dirty to break their power hold. If Republicans win again, they will continue to exercise their legitimate democratic constitutional powers, and sadly, Democrats will continue to exercise their illegitimate mobocracy as they fight dirty by lying and cheating and distorting reality while destroying civility, decency, and America's legislative process. We must not only get out the vote this November 6, 2018, we must prepare for a worldview war like never before. Remember, Elections have consequences, and at the end of the day, I pray we win. So think on that one, Democrats. We will fight with everything we have to trump you. I'm Dr. Jake Jacobs, and we'll see you next time on One Nation.